Nakedness in Genesis 2 and 3 was not physical but metaphorical. It's meant to be uncovered, which can mean lack of knowledge. Adam and Eve were not created with complete knowledge. They were naked, they did not have all the knowledge. Welcome to Faith Life channel and our series FaithLens, where we uncover hidden truths in scriptures and how they shape our understanding of God and life. In today's episode, we'll be teaching on Genesis to expose a detail most people overlooked. Genesis verse 25 says, "And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed." What does nakedness here mean? Was Moses referring to a physical nakedness or something beyond surface knowledge? Nakedness here is more than just a physical state. It carries deep spiritual and symbolic meaning that reveals God's intention for humanity, identity, and redemption. If you read Genesis carefully, you will realize that it was when the man and his wife sinned that their eyes were opened and they discovered they were naked and they felt shame. Don't forget, it was to restore what man lost in this account that Jesus came and died. This shows us that man's fall was first spiritual, separation from God. The physical consequences only followed afterwards. So, the symbols in Genesis, tree, fruit, covering, their physical pictures pointing to a deeper spiritual truth and reality. Genesis 2 verse 25 says, "But they were not ashamed." That means they were innocent. Their ignorance was not condemnation. It is like a child running around the home naked. He does not know he is naked, but he is protected under the watchful eyes of his parents. Apostle Paul echoes this in Galatians 4 verse 1. "An heir who is a child is kept under tutors and governors until he matured." Adam was like a child under God's tutorship, but he listened to the devil and entered in knowledge he was not ready for. That awareness exposed his spiritual nakedness. So Adam felt fear, guilt, and shame. He realized he lacked God's knowledge. Afraid of his ignorance, he tried to cover himself by sewing fig leaves. This was man's first attempt at redeeming himself, but his own work could not help him. God later showed man that redemption would come not through his own effort, but through the promise fulfilled in Christ. God cannot be appeased by man's effort. He can only be known if he reveals himself. That is why he became man in Jesus Christ. God asked Adam, "Who told you that you were naked?" It was true that they were naked, but how did they know? The awareness came too soon. Like a child tasting food meant for adults, they now carry knowledge they were not ready for. So God had to distance man from the garden, not to deny him, but to preserve him until he could handle true knowledge again. The Garden of Eden was the place of man's assignment to govern and to redeem creation. Outside the garden, work became tall. Man's dominion was suspended until reconciliation with God restored the right knowledge. When Adam tried to cover his shame with fig leaves, God showed him that self-effort could not restore dominion. Now, separated from the garden, man would struggle to understand God. Revelation became harder through fear, shame, and guilt. The fall was not a single moment. It was a result of a long-term drift. That is why we wrestle with thoughts, doubts, and fear that veil our hearts. In Christ, guilt, shame, and fear must die. These are the veils that block us from seeing God clearly. In Christ, we come boldly. This is why dominations that keep believers condemned are not in sync with the gospel. They echo Eden, where Adam hid from God. Others argue that sin can unsave you. That too echoes Eden, Adam's attempt to redeem himself with fig leaves instead of depending on God. You did not create yourself. Your works cannot redeem you. Sin cannot unsave you. The gospel is simple. Depend on Christ, not yourself. Thank you for watching FaithLens on Faith Life channel. What does this story of nakedness in Genesis mean to you? Share in the comments. If this blessed you, like, share, and subscribe so you won't forget to miss the next teaching. Remember, faith isn't about knowing, it is about living. Until next time, keep walking in the light of truth.